Welcome to the Broad Ripple Village Podcast. My name's Brian Wheat, your host, podcasting from Village Recording Studio here in Broad Ripple. My guest today is Jim Richter, otherwise known as the Blind Broom Guy of Indianapolis. Before we begin, I got a couple of comments to make. First of all, we've got a brand new website. It's at broadripplevillagepodcast.com. This is a place where you can make comments and communicate to me and give me your feedback and share posts. Of course, you can also do that at our Facebook page as well. One more note, in this particular podcast, this interview was done on the streets of Broad Ripple, and so you're going to hear some background noise, but I thought it was an effective way to interview this particular guest. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Have a nice day. Appreciate it.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I don't know if you remember me. My name's Brian Wheat. We had met.
I remember your voice. I couldn't remember your name, though.
Yeah, I'm the one that owns a recording studio.
Oh, yeah. I lost your card somewhere.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Brian, I'm sorry.
Hey, that's no problem. I've got another one.
Okay, well, I meant to call you one day when it was raining so much. I thought this is going to be a good day to go see this man.
Well, here's a card.
Okay.
Here's the other card. How's today going for you?
It's very slow.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
I could have stayed home today.
It is a cold day for April, right?
Cold usually don't bother anybody. It's just that for some reason or other, there just ain't a lot of people out here. Usually I catch a lot of them in the morning when they're walking their dogs.
Sure, yeah.
There just wasn't any of them out today.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things I have to.
Isn't that weird? It's hard to pinpoint, days
when you're
like
in
that.
retail business, you don't second guess the public.
Right. There's it could be just timing, and it could have been that it was.
And days when you think there isn't anything going to be going on, they're lined up to buy. So,
exactly.
I never try to second guess people.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
If any man that thinks that he's going to second guess somebody that's buying merchandise, he's a fool. Because you can't.
That's pretty wise words.
You just have to have the product when they're ready to buy it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I agree with you.
It's a crap game. Some days you win, and some days you lose.
Yeah.
Thank God I have a lot more winners than I do losers.
Yes, that is good. It's good. You probably have a lot of wise words for retail people because of your, experience.
Once in a while, people will ask me, how would you handle a situation? And I just tell them, and it's turned out pretty good for the ones that I know of. But what's crazy?
What's that?
My own family don't think that I'm smart enough to.
Oh.
Well, they don't. I mean, they think, well, that poor dude.
They feel sorry for you instead of.
No, just take me for what I am. Don't give me no BS. Just I am what I am. You see, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, and you're making the most of what you got.
When I had my go around with the post office a couple of years ago, a lot of people that work there at the post office say, "How do you keep doing what you do and always come out on top?"
Yeah.
And I said, "It's called perseverance."
Yes.
And you can't go in business one day and if you don't make any money, say, "Well, this isn't worth it. I think I'll just close it up." It don't work that way. You have to build up clientele and faith and have people have faith in you over a long period of time, and that's what I've done.
Well, let me tell you something. Just you being out here on this corner is an inspiration to so many people.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
I mean, and isn't that special that you can just be out here and just the mere fact that you're persevering, someone will look at you and go, if he can persevere through that, I can persevere.
I've had kids that, come up to me, they said, you were an inspiration to me when I was in high school. I didn't know what I was going to do and where I was going to go and all disappointed and everything. And I see you out here all the time and And it says it gives me encouragement. You just
Sure.
have to, you have to get with the program and stay with it,
Yeah.
as they put it.
Yeah.
You know how kids are.
Yeah,
they
they
have the lingo all of their own.
That's right. And it changes over time, too.
Oh, yes, yes. My last year at the School for the Blind in 56 and 7 was the first year that they opened up the school in Nora there, because all the kids from Nora used to come to Brother
Okay.
School or Carmel. Okay,
Right, yeah.
so it was the first year, and they were experimenting. They were playing around with a lot of ideas, and
Uh-huh.
they came down to the School for the Blind. They said, "Well, how about your senior class coming up here to what is now the middle school
Okay.
on Westfield Boulevard? How about if your kids, or even one or two of them, would be fine?" So 3 of us elected to go there that last year, and it was the first year that North Central was open. We had a ball.
Yeah, so the point of that was to try to get you ingrained
acclimated to
yeah.
to get the sighted kids
Right.
acclimated to us, and vice versa, because there was a time when the people had this stigma about the School for the Blind, that a lot of them referred to it as the blind asylum.
Well, why do you think it got that
Well, it
reputation?
it was just old.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks like a prison on the hill, if you want.
It does.
It really did. In fact, we used to, a couple of kids and I, we got together one day, and we decided that we would nickname it the Indiana State Alcatraz Island for the Blind.
Oh my gosh.
And it kind of stuck, And,
Yeah.
the principal, of course.
He didn't like that, probably.
No, they didn't like it at all. They thought the media was going to get hold of it.
That senior year when you went to that school, I bet that helped greatly
that
for
helped
you.
me. Well, of course, I was making brooms before that.
Were you?
At the industrial building, and I was out among the public on weekends a lot, and I was never one to be locked up somewhere.
Sure.
I was born in a community up in northern Indiana, and the first couple of years I went to a parochial school, so I was pretty much acclimated with the kids who could see.
Yeah.
And they were, what was really interesting was the way I came to go to the School for the Blind was I had an older sister that was visually handicapped,
Uh-huh.
and she was in her 8th grade, and the principal of the high school said up there, "There's nothing we can do with her. We cannot educate her in our school," and blah 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 blah. So he got in touch with my parents, and they sent us to the welfare department in Stark County, and of course the welfare department was familiar with the School for the Blind, and they said, but here I was, an 8-year-old kid, and they told me, they didn't tell me, I had to find out on my own. We're gonna take you out of your nice, comfortable surroundings here and put you somewhere where you don't know anything about. And I'll tell you what, I literally cried myself to sleep every night for the first year that I was there.
So what grade did you enter at the blind school?
It should have been a 3rd grade, but because I didn't know Braille and all that stuff, that he said, you got to go back to the 1st grade and learn Braille.
I see.
Which put me back 2 years.
Yeah.
While the teacher, at the end of that year, said he picked Braille up in about 2 hours. So she said, he has no business being here or in the 2nd grade. So she got me promoted.
She did.
Moved up to the 3rd grade where I belonged
Yeah.
to begin with.
Wow. But that is, I interviewed, and I'm doing this podcast, one of the people I interviewed, his name is Dave Schneiders. I don't know if you know Dave Schneiders.
I'm not familiar with him.
He worked at the blind school for 30 years as a teacher.
Oh, wow.
And he was my neighbor. He is my neighbor over there in
What
Morfley.
he taught?
He taught science for a while.
Science, okay.
Yeah. And then I think he ended up teaching maybe reading or something like that.
Yeah.
But he had some nice things to say about it. You know, he was.
It's altogether different now.
Yeah, right.
See, when I first started going there, they dump us off at the first of the year. We always started a week after Labor Day, where most schools started the day after Labor Day.
Right.
But anyhow, we wouldn't be able to see our parents until Thanksgiving holiday.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm
so
serious.
Where were your parents living at the time? Were they here in Indy or were they out?
No. They lived in northern Indiana, where I grew up on the farm. They lived near Michigan City.
Okay, Michigan City. Yeah, I've been up there.
We were south of Michigan City in Stark County. Michigan City's in LaPorte County, and North Judson, where I lived, is in Stark County, which is the next one south of LaPorte County.
Okay. Gotcha. And so you moved.
We were not able to communicate with our parents. You know,
wow.
you could have somebody write a letter for you and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you were just stuck there for the long period.
I can't imagine being in third grade and doing that.
Well, it was very difficult. That was one of the most difficult things that I ever did in my life. Well, the second year, I decided when I was supposed to start out in the third grade, I decided I wasn't going back there. I didn't like that place.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother was going to drive us down here, and he had a blue Chevrolet pickup van.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that just like it was yesterday. We were all packed up and ready to go, and he said, "Jim, why don't you step outside and let me rearrange this stuff?" Well, I stepped outside, all right. So I took off through the cornfields.
Oh. So you wouldn't have to go back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I took off through the cornfield, and I avoided him for about 5 hours.
Oh, my gosh. Was he looking for you all over the place?
Oh, they were looking for me all over, and somehow or other, my mother, man, she was like a hawk. She picked up my footprints out there in the field.
Oh my gosh! They were tracking their son.
Oh well, they couldn't figure out where I went.
They probably didn't think that was a funny joke, did they?
No, they didn't think they didn't see no humor in that at all. Except my brother, when he finally caught up with me, he says, "Come on, Jim, you come with me, because if Mom gets a hold of you, she's going to kill you."
How old was your brother at that point?
Well, he was quite a bit. In fact, he just passed this last summer.
Oh, he did. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, he lived out in Las Vegas. He was retired out there, so he was about 15 years older than me, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, he was quite a bit older than me.
Yeah, and you said you have a sister, a younger sister?
No, she's old. I'm the youngest of 8 children.
Youngest of 8?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a brother that's 6 years older than me, and a sister that's 8 years older than me, and she's the one that's officially Hannigan.
Okay, gotcha.
And those 3, just me, my brother, and my sister, are the only 3 left out of 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an experience, but I made it. When I finally got out of school, I was going to get in touch with somebody or talk to somebody that could really do something about it. And I finally got a hold of Charlie Bosma. He was a United States, I mean, not a United States senator, but Indiana State senator at that time, and he took an interest in officially Hannigan. In fact, when I was in school, Governor Richter, this is another story. Governor Richter was the governor of Indiana at the time, and he lived up there in Knox, Indiana, which is basically right around the corner where I lived. And he found out that I lived up there, and my sister. He said he got in touch with the people there at the school, and they got in touch with me and said, "How would you like to ride home with the governor one weekend?" And I said, "Ride home with the governor?" "Yeah, in his limousine." I said, "That would be fantastic."
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a really great guy.
Stand-up guy. That's cool. What did he talk to you about when you rode in the limo? Do you remember?
He wanted to know about the school and everything, and what we did on the farm, and what I did on the farm. I said, well, I don't get no special privileges except, you know, I can't see well enough that I had some vision then.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And kids today, when I go to talk to them in grade schools, they'll ask me how much vision I had when I was their age. And I'd always tell them I had just enough to get me in trouble, but not enough to do me any good. And they understand that.
Yeah.
Kids, adults don't understand it, but those kids,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
really,
I bet. Yeah.
yeah.
So
went-
when did you go? Do you remember the day you went blind totally, or was that a day? It
No,
was just kind of
a
gradual.
thing.
Okay.
The condition that I have it's hereditary.
No, it is.
In fact, 3 of us out of 8 had visual problems.
Okay. Were you the
and-
most severe?
Pardon?
Are you the most severe case of it?
No, we all
have-
Well, my oldest brother, he died before his vision got away from him.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, my sister and I, we both have pretty much the same thing. And
Okay.
it's something that is common over in Europe, but they don't have not done much research on it here in the U.S. because it's not a thing normal. You know,
Yeah, it's
there's
not-
not enough people in the U.S. that have it.
Yeah.
That anybody that's done anything. But anyhow, one of the doctors that I did talk to somewhere along the lines said, "Well, this problem is very common in Europe, and you can't pass it on from generation to generation. The weird thing about it is it'll skip 3 or 4 generations before it ever shows up again."
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. What's the name of it? Do you know?
I have no idea. It's some big scientific name
Right.
that I probably couldn't pronounce even if I heard of it. But
Yeah.
they said it has something to do. In fact, there's a chiropractor that is referred to it in one of his radio broadcasts one time. And he was that I meant to get in touch with him and try to have him talk a little bit more about it. But he said the condition has something to do with the nerve that comes out of your spine up through the back of your head. It controls that optic nerve.
Sure.
And he said if that nerve that comes out of your spine is pinched, you wind up with that condition for the rest of your life. And it has, the doctors all told me when I was when I was a teenager, said, you're going to have vision until you're about 40 years old, and then you'll just slowly but surely lose it. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, it started from my nose and just worked its way on up.
So you had partial. So when you how would you describe your partial vision? Was it everything was fuzzy, or it was actually you couldn't see from this point, from your left side
No,
over?
actually, it was really weird because, give you an example. One time, one of my sisters was trying to talk to my mother about a city in Illinois, and she was trying to point it out on the map, and it was in very small print that you'd almost had to have magnifying glasses to read it. And they ended their discussion, and so I took that map and where she was talking about, and I took that map out in the sunlight where I had real bright light, and I looked at it and I said, here's that place, Frankfort, Illinois.
So you could read that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I could see like about a quarter of a mile pretty clearly, but beyond that, that was it.
Okay. Wow. And that just kept getting shorter distance.
Well, when I got older,
Yeah.
I had pretty good. I didn't miss out on too much in life until I got about. Well, I still don't miss out on too much.
It doesn't sound like it.
I got acclimated pretty good.
Yeah.
Losing my vision like that. But there was a case of one guy I used to ride the trolley with all the time when I was in high school. About the time I started getting out and about on my own. And he and I became good friends, and I rode with him on a Saturday night. Okay? And it was about a week later, I went into the rehabilitation center. It was over on West 30th Street at that time, and he was there.
Oh,
And I
really?
said, what are you doing? He said on Sunday morning I woke up and I couldn't see.
Oh,
His vision just left him.
it just stopped.
Yeah, just lost it overnight. And he wasn't all that old at the time. He was probably about 25 years old. That was his driving the trolley was his first job in life, I guess.
Wow.
And he had a heck of a time dealing with that. And
Yeah, that's shocking, right?
It was.
Once you have it and then you don't.
And people have asked me, well, you know, if through a miracle of God you could see all of a sudden, what would you do? And I said it would probably take me just as much time to get acclimated to seeing as it took me to not being able to see. I said you don't just because you got sight doesn't mean that you're going to adjust to everything immediately.
That is, you know what? I never thought of that, but I could see that being, because your whole body's in tune with the fact that you can't see.
Yeah.
So adding sight would be another huge adjustment. Well, hey, I'm going to let you get back to selling.
Brian.
And it was so good to talk to you again.
Yeah.
But I'd love to get in the studio, so you give me a call. We'll continue this conversation.
To be continued.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you have a great day.
Thanks, Fran.
Uh-huh.
You too.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Broderickville Village podcast. As I mentioned at the beginning, we've got a brand new website, broderickvillevillagepodcast.com. Feel free to leave comments. I'd love to hear feedback. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.